G'day and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of Harry Kane. Will he stay, will he go, or will he still be here next week? Welcome to Tottenham. You know what we are, you know what we're about. Tonight we are talking about Harry Kane. With his wife now looking house hunting probably in Germany, Philip pulling his hair out, and Colin down below couldn't give a hoot about it because he supports Man United, just hoping that the Qataris will take over from the Glazers. So, you know, we might have a good discussion here. But how are you, Philip, this evening anyway?
Yeah, I was just watching some of the video there of the training session and various things to do with the press conference, which I'll be commenting on later. Yeah, looking forward to the match tomorrow. Seems to be a lot of rain in Bangkok, that's for sure. So it's going to be a wet day for them, I'd say.
Yeah, a wet day, of course. Yeah, and Colin, how are you, sir? How's everything in Man United land?
I'm doing well, thank you. Everything in Man United land is exactly how it was the last time we spoke. The Rats are still in charge. But yeah, so I've had a good day. I sat and watched the qualifiers for the F1 earlier today.
That was qualifying. They changed the format for that, didn't they? It was really good.
They did. And if you see me looking over that way a little bit, I apologise. It's because I've got the semi-final of the darts on as well, so I'm just keeping an eye on that.
At the moment.
So at the moment, it's Aspinall. He's beating Cullen 10-5 at the minute.
But no, I really enjoyed that qualifying today for the Grand Prix. It was exciting, and Hamilton got his 104th pole position.
Yeah, what were it? 0.003 seconds.
A blink of an eye ahead of Verstappen.
Exactly.
Well, next week, me and Philip, and hopefully Colin might come on as well as Brad, we're going to cover the Belgian Grand Prix, the qualifying, the sprint race, and the race. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll be here covering all the Grand Prix for you. So shall we see who's in the chat tonight? We've got Adrian Soccer. Big up, good evening, all he says.
Yeah.
He also says, Spurs fans can expect things to hot up on the transfer front this coming week.
Good for that.
Might do. Good evening all from Jarula. Big up, Jarula.
Hi,
Hope you're doing well, and hope you're keeping your Auntie Ellie in check when she's out partying tonight. So I hope she's not ends up on the front page of the news of the world or the Sunday People, bringing the channel into disrepute. But there you go.
You're behind the times. News of the World closed down about 15 years ago.
I do realise that. I'm saying it more for a joke because I knew they were closed down. Carl Simpson, how hot, Adrian? He's asking. We've got Brian Maguire. Who do we replace Kane with? We're getting to that as well. We've got David Clark. Hi from Leicester. Hope everyone in the chat as well. Yeah. And who does he play for? Brian's asking.
No.
Who knows? We've got Cheese Room, John.
No.
Big up, John. How are you? Please, everyone, get over to the Cheese Room, give them a like and subscribe. Great channel run by great people over there. Was on there once, really enjoyed it. So, John, we have to get you on here one Friday or Saturday for a debate, but everyone, please get over there. We've got Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs as well. The same with Kate. Good evening, all.
Hey,
We've got Tequila. G'day, all. Sheila's in the chat, and he says more Kane chat, more Kane talk. That's why I'm here. Big up. We've got Colin Turner or Carl Simpson. Good evening, guys, and everyone in the chat. Big up, Carl. Colin Turner. Hope you're right, Adrian. Good evening to everyone. We've got Jim as well. Hi, Philip and Colin, and my fellow Spurs lovers. Wayne Bonner. Big up, Wayne. Evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. We've got Dragon D Nuts. Big ups all. Big up Dragon D's. Love that name. Who else we got in? Who else popped in? And we've got Ollie. Big up Ollie as well.
Right.
Guys, now this is the very latest we have. Hang on. We've got Dragon saying a man walking naked through an airport is going to Bangkok. There you go.
All right.
Now, we're going to start this from David Clark. He says, I saw an exclusive interview with German football expert. I don't know who. Raphael
Honigstein.
Yeah. Where he said Bayern won't pay 100 million for Kane because he would only be at Munich for 3 years at most. Outlay too big.
Yeah.
Well,
do you know something? I read something the other day about that. But you know, Bayern Munich is sniffing around Kyle Walker as well, right? Signing from Man City. But apparently, it's policy at Bayern Munich not to give any player of 30 and over, only give them a 1-year contract. Now, surely Harry Kane will fall into that category very shortly. So are Bayern being a bit hypocritical here by saying we'll give Harry Kane an extension, but we won't give some of their own players that are there already? Although they were talking giving Walker a 2.5-year contract, even though he's well over 30.
What do you reckon to that, Colin? Are they being a bit hypocritical?
I mean, if that is the system that they run, then yeah, of course they're being hypocritical. But I mean, to comment on the 100 million, they won't pay it because of, they're not going to make money back or anything. Of course they're going to make money back. As soon as if Kane goes to Bayern, and as soon as they slap his name on the back of a t-shirt, those shirts are going to get sold out completely.
Yeah.
So they'll make the money back. It won't bother them.
And it's a big name signing for them as well, isn't it? Because they lost what's his name, the number 9 to Barcelona last season. They really missed him. Yeah. So it will be. But this is the latest we've got, guys. I got from our source. I got this late last night, actually. Being told from my Spurs source, who I've got, very reliable source he is as well, that is 90% sure that Kane will be sold to Bayern this summer. And then he also said there's going to be another bid from Bayern for Kane. It will match with add-ons the equivalent of 100 million. Now, I'm not sure if that's euro or pounds, but I think it might be pounds. They are not worried about the deal. Hello. Who took that off?
Sorry, no, I hit the X on the bottom. I thought we'd get rid of the bottom part. Go on, sorry.
I don't know where I was now. The equivalent of 100 million. They're not worried about the deal. They know that they have him as their striker next season.
Cocky
Look,
bastard.
Philip, I'm going to start with Colin first in this before I come to you. Right? What do you think, Colin? Look, you're a Man United fan outside looking in, but can you see him being at Bayern Munich in the next couple of weeks?
Well, that's the $1 million question. If I knew that, I'd be going to bookies and putting money on it. In a way, I can see it. I think this whole thing now has gone way too far for Kane to be at Spurs now beyond January, next season. And I think it's obviously when I've watched the shows that you guys have done. Obviously, I understand Harry Kane's loved by Spurs fans. He's got so much admiration towards him and everything. And you were all asking for clear definition that Kane wanted to go. Well, in recent days, you said, his wife's looked at houses in Germany. He's come out and said that he's not going to sign a new contract. These are all the things that you guys are asking for. And he's clearly showing you that he wants to go to Bayern. So I think if he can get it done, he needs now, my personal view is, if he wants this, if he really wants this, he now has to come out and publicly say from his own words to everybody, I want to go to Bayern Munich next season.
Yeah. And Philip, I know what your thoughts are on the German press. Well, can we leave that to one side for a minute? And we will get into that because of what happened at the press conference today. But what's your antenna telling you? You're a man of vast with knowledge over Tottenham. You've seen it. You've seen them win, lose, relegated, brought up. You've seen big players come and go. I always look to you when it comes to this because I always trust your judgment on this. If you could look into your crystal ball, what's your antenna telling you?
Harry Kane will be a Bayern Munich player within 2 weeks. That's my crystal ball.
How you feel?
There's too many pointers heading that way. Now, even though some of them might be manufactured, there is too many indications. Harry not signing the contract is probably the biggest indicator. He doesn't want to stay at Spurs anymore. Bayern Munich seem to be ridiculously confident that they're going to get him, right? I hope it blows up in their face because I think their arrogance has been absolutely inexcusable on this. But I don't think it's going to. I mean, good guys don't always get what they want, and it looks like we're not going to get what we want. Harry Kane will be gone, and I hope that at the minute we're in the search for his successor because I'm afraid it's black armband time for Harry Kane. I'm afraid we've lost him.
Right, look, what can we do to change this around, guys? What can Tottenham do to Harry Kane to say, look, this is what we're going to do? For him to say, do you know what? I will sign this new contract. Is it down to Ange? Is it down to Daniel Levy? Who the fans going to blame if Kane does go to Bayern Munich? Because we all know Levy's going to get a lot of the blame, but is it really his fault? And I'll start with you, Philip, on that.
It's not really Levy's fault. I mean, this has been okay. I'm not saying it probably is if you track things back. When Spurs should have invested in players in various positions in the past couple of years, if they'd done that, Harry Kane probably wouldn't be in the market to move somewhere else because we probably would have won a trophy and he'd be happy. But it's because of Daniel Levy's intransigence and lack of foresight in the transfer market in years gone by that we've now come to the crunch situation that our main player wants to go because of the lack of ambition the chairman showed in the past. And that's probably why we'll get blamed. Now, for the current situation, I blame Bayern Munich for it. They've manufactured this, and they've turned Harry Kane's head. You know, and you can't blame him. I mean, let's face it. I mean, he's been very loyal to Spurs, but that loyalty is now coming to an end. A lot of people won't be able to accept that. But I think we just have to get on with it because, as I keep saying, the king is dead. Long live the king. We've been through this before with Jimmy Greaves. We've been through it with Alan Gilzean, Paul Gascoigne, Gary Lineker, Glenn Hoddle. We've lost them all, and we're still around. So, exactly. The list is endless, you know. And one other thing I meant to say yesterday was the 59th anniversary of the death of John White on the golf course, which should have been mentioned as well because that was another player that we lost. It was way before.
Is that today, Philip?
Yesterday.
Oh, missed that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I meant to mention it yesterday. But anyway,
we might do something before the start of the show or the watch along tomorrow. Might do something.
He deserves a bit of tribute, you know. But anyway, back to I think. Listen, all the posturing. I think we may prepare ourselves for the worst.
I'm gonna say hi to my cousin. She says, "Hey, cousin, send love from Lilia and me. I hope you and Kyle and the family are doing well, though he is a Man United fan." Lilia's going to be a Spurs fan. She really will be a Spurs fan. And I'll be texting you later. But cheers. Thank you for popping in. We've got Greg Selnet says Steve Archibald, Martin Shivers, Colin Turner saying players can come and go, supporters stay for life. And that's something that Bill Nixon said, wasn't it? He said that in the team talk. He says players will go, managers, owners will go, but the fans will always be here. And I always come back to the Teddy Sheringham thing when he went to your club, Colin, Man United, back in the 90s. It was exactly the same thing, isn't it? He wanted a contract. Sugar wouldn't give it to him. He went to United, won his trophies, and then came back to Spurs. Could you see Harry Kane doing the same thing?
I mean, I suppose it would all depend on what kind of contract, if he was to go to Bayern, he signs. You know, because the last thing you want to do is if he signs a 4 or 5 year deal for Bayern Munich and then you guys go in for him again on his last year, you know, you get a 35, 36-year-old player. You might have already found the next Harry Kane by then. So it all depends, to be honest with you.
Okay, and do you know what you feel? We've seen too many big players come and go from Spurs. Do you know, no one's bigger than the club. But is this Harry Kane situation? Look, is it because of the media as well that's been whipped up? When Teddy Sheringham or Jimmy Greaves or Steve Archibald all left Tottenham in the years gone by, or Paul Gascoigne, the media wasn't so much to whip this up. Do you think it's now like media has whipped this up? It's on Sky Sports News, breaking news. Kane wants out of Tottenham, like us and many other Spurs YouTube channels would give the breaking news. Harry Kane wants to sign a new contract. Where, say, when Jimmy Greaves left Tottenham to West Ham, there was no Facebook, no YouTube, no internet. You know, it was done just in the back of a newspaper. And that was it. I was going to say, you had to wait for the media as well to whip this up.
In the old days, you had to wait till the next day. You read it in the back of the Daily Mirror or something like that. That's when you learned about it, or else on the radio. Yeah, the social media is an awful lot to blame for all this, you know, whipping up media speculation about it. And I know everyone likes to have their own opinion, but some of the stuff I've read in social media about Harry Kane and about other things to do with Spurs, it's showing total disrespect to the club. And the German thing now only adds to that today. It just seems that I'll deal with that reporter thing in a few minutes. But it just seems to me that there's a total lack of respect for Tottenham, not just from the British media, but now from the German media as well. And it's not good enough. It's not acceptable. But who are we to stop it? We can't stop it.
No, we can't.
Channels get an agenda against certain clubs, and they keep it up. And we're one of the ones that gets the hammer.
And talk sport as well. And though you have been agreeing with Simon Jordan, which has nearly bowled me and Colin over a few times. I mean, Colin's probably fed up.
He generally talks sense. You know, I might not always agree with him, but the last couple of times I have agreed with him. So, you know, I must be getting soft in my old age.
I'm saying nothing. I am saying nothing at all.
Carry on. Keep going.
Carry on regardless. Right. Big up, hail, and bottoms up, lads. Nah, players, stays forever at clubs unless you are Dyer Rodent and Tango and regular. That's a good one. Big up.
I wonder if we made it part of the condition that the only way Harry Kane was going to Bayern Munich took that lot with him.
Big up to Richie as well. He's an Everton fan, but big up for popping in. And
hey, Richie.
I fear for your club this season. I really do. But you may get Dele Alli back to his best, so that may be a bit of a boost for you this season.
He'd be like a new player. He'd be like a new player for you this season, Dele Alli.
Big up also to the disabled team. Harry Kane leaving Spurs. It's like Rice leaving West Ham. No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Well, it's more. It's a lot more. Daniel, Rice
Harry
Kane long enough.
Yeah. Harry Kane is a world class player. Declan Rice is a traitor to his country. Right, that's as far as I'm going with that. And so is Harry Kane, because Harry Kane could have played for Ireland as well, by the way.
Yeah, but he never did. The other guy did.
No, Declan Rice did. Yeah. So there's 3 Irish people on here that just don't like Declan Rice. He nearly went to your club as well, Colin.
Yeah, he would. If he had come to my club, I would have got a burning effigy of him.
Yeah.
There you go. In a doll, huh?
Yeah. There you go. Jessica, big up Jessica as well. Kane will be around 80 million, and Gravenbunch, who wants more game time, will replace Højbjerg, in my opinion. It's not a bad shout, you know.
Not bad.
Not a bad shout at all.
Yeah.
So, look, this is what I want to ask Philip. Is it time for Bayern to put up or go away? I'll start with Colin first in this, and then I'll come to you. Colin, is it time for Bayern to put up or go away?
I mean, looking at it from a Tottenham fan perspective, you know, yes, it is about time that they do that. But, you know, if you look at it from the Germans team perspective, they technically hold all the cards. Yes, you guys hold the player, but they hold all the cards, especially if all this news that is coming out is, you know, nail on the head. If he's wanting to go, and, you know, rumours are that they're looking for houses over there and everything, they know. You know, they know that Harry Kane wants to come to them. They don't have to push and push and push, because they also know if they need to, they'll wait. They'll wait till January, then go up to the Harry Kane, because they can do it, and say, "Here you go, sign this contract for me. You come and play for us next season for nothing."
Yeah, and what's your thought on it? It's a good point Colin to make, that do Bayern Munich hold the cards in some sorts of ways, Philip, or do you think Tottenham, or do you disagree with Colin? You think Tottenham hold all the cards? I mean, where do you see it? Well,
I mean, Tottenham hold his contract, if you want. I won't call them cards, but they hold his contract, and as such can reject any offer that comes in when he's still under contract. But I think the bottom line is going to be, do we want to keep Harry Kane at the club next season, right? That, remember, he didn't turn up for the first couple of months after the Manchester City scenario. Do we want to keep him there and lose him for nothing in the summer after him not performing up to his usual standard this season? Or do we cash in on him now and buy a suitable, well, he's never going to be replaced, but a suitable someone to wear the number 10 shirt, so the way I'll put it. And I think we have to go the latter, because if we let him go for nothing next season, they'll be weeping and gnashing their teeth and kicking Daniel Levy's door down for letting it all happen. So I think we have to. He's not going to sign a contract. That's it. So basically, it's sell him by the 31st of August, or give him away for nothing next June, and that would be terrible.
Where do you think? I mean, Kate says here, if he doesn't sign this contract this summer, he won't end up at Bayern. He'll have the world at his feet. But that's great for Harry Kane, isn't it, Colin? But it's not good for Tottenham. It could be good for your lot, Man United. It could be good for Man City, Real Madrid, PSG. He'd have his pick of clubs to go to. There's even rumours flying around. I think it's a load of BS myself that the Saudi Arabias have talking to an intermediary,
That's right.
a middleman,
Intermediary,
to get him over to Saudi Arabia Pro League. I think personally that's BS, but I haven't been shown any proof of that. But do you know he'd have the word at his feet column? So do you know if this was a Man United player, you had it, I think, in the past, didn't you, with certain players, like with David Beckham or with Paul Pogba as well. He went on a free twice, and then you bought him back for 100 million something euro, and then went on another free. So, you know, where do you think this will end up? But do you know, Katie's right. If he does wait till next summer, he's going to do well at his feet.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that'll all depend on Kane's mindset. You know, if he decides, you know, he's going to see out his contract at Spurs, then when he has got his world at his feet, we'll see what Kane values the most. I think, depending on which club he's going to go to. You know, I'll be one of the first people to say it about Manchester United. If Kane came to Manchester United, I've got no doubt that he would push us towards the trophies more than what we have been at recently. But there's no guaranteed success at United. If he goes to Madrid, which I don't think he will, because they'll have Mbappe by then, I'm pretty much sold on that idea. So they're not going to be looking. Barcelona can't afford him. He doesn't want to go and play football for PSG, because who does? Who wants to actually go and play in that Farmers League? Yeah. Let's face it, everybody knows it is. Saudi Arabia, I don't reckon he'll even look at that, to be honest with you. He wants competitive football, so that only leaves, again, really, Bayern Munich. So I don't think City will come back in for him. Chelsea might do because of, what's his face, Pochettino. But I'd reckon he'll probably be sacked by January anyway, so...
Yeah, look, there's a lot of people in here, David Clark, saying my cousin saw Harry's wife in the hairdressers in Braintree, Essex, so it's rubbish that she's looking at houses in Germany. Well, look, to be honest with you, we don't take what the German press say with a pinch of salt. I take seriously what our source gives us, and I take that very seriously, and I back our source 100%. Look, it needs to come out and say something, because this cannot keep going on, Philip. It's like every season it's the same thing. And it's just getting ridiculous. So, what... Well,
yeah, it's time to draw a line. It's time to draw a line. Like, I would love Harry Kane to stay, sign a new contract and stay. Yeah. But I don't want to be in the situation of wondering this season, is he going to turn up, as I've said, and then on the 30th of June next summer, he walks away from us for nothing. And there's complete control over where he goes to. And that's what I do not want. That comment there about City coming in, they will not come back for him.
No.
There's no way. Not with Haaland. I mean, as long as Haaland's with City, they won't be coming back. City won't be back in for him. But...
Drilla's asking here, do you think Levy will sell him after all of this piss take, Philip?
I wish I was in a fly on the wall in Daniel Levy's hotel room in Bangkok at the minute, because I'd say his phone is hopping, because, you know, he's got a big decision to make, a huge decision. He's come out publicly and said, we're not selling Harry Kane, right? Now, there's every chance if the bid of a suitable bid comes in, he'll accept it. Then he's going to be accused of misleading Spurs fans. So, you know, I just don't know. I think Levy will. I think he will sell him, because I think he's not going to take the option of walking away for nothing next summer.
Yeah, and Colin, what do you say? Do you think Levy will sell him after this? I mean, is he being forced into a corner where he really has to sell him?
I mean, yeah, I think he is being forced into corner now. Obviously, everybody knows I've been on the shows before. You know, I've worked in the footballing world and all this and all that. So obviously, I do know certain people that speak to people. I've spoke to Mr. Levy a couple of times myself, so I know him. And he is he's pissed. He is fuming with this whole thing, and he just wants it done. I mean, Ange is furious. Obviously, you've seen his reactions in press conferences and all this. He is not a happy man. So I think that's because he's backed in a corner.
And I do think that as well. And I think he will be. I think he is being backed to in the corner. I don't know if it's by Kane or by his representatives or by whatever. But it's just I think Ange has every reason to be angry with this. I really, really do. And look, you look back over the years, even at Ferguson at United, he wouldn't stand for this. You look how quickly he got Beckham out of the club when Beckham wanted to go to Real Madrid, or Roy Keane. Look how quickly he got him out of the club. The managers, and I think, personal view for me, I think I've heard today, has Levy lost control of the Kane situation? I think he has. I think he's letting it get up in front of him. I think he should have been on the front foot with this and say, right, Harry, you're either going to sign a new contract or we're going to put you up for sale and we're going to do it publicly. So you've got to make a decision. And if he says, right, I want to go, right, okay, Tottenham fans, Harry Kane, you make the announcement. He doesn't want to make an announcement either way because he doesn't want to damage his legacy that he has at Tottenham. Now, his legacy is not... His legacy, Philip, it's not on column. It's not going to be damaged either way. He's our club's leading goal scorer. He's got us out of more holes than Houdini. Every season he scored over 25 goals, I think, apart from 2 seasons. So last season when it was going to Man City, everyone was coming out. Oh, look, I wouldn't blame Harry if he goes. Oh, no, fair play to Harry if he goes. Look, I've got no problem. But this time round, some fans do have a problem with him going. So, do you know, I think this is a mess made of Harry Kane's representatives, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and the media. And I think everyone's just feeding everyone's fire. And the biggest culprit out of the whole lot is Charlie Kane. He needs to be put down somewhere and forgotten about because he's caused more problems for Harry and this, you know, going to PSG or going to Real Madrid. Oh, PSG had an interview with him and his father. It should be down to Harry Kane if he decides to go or not to go. It's not down to Harry Kane's father's, brother's, sister or aunt that lives up in Scotland. It's down to Harry Kane, Daniel Levy and Tottenham Hotspur. And it's an absolute mess.
Can I ask one question? I should know the answer to this, but I don't. Right. In years gone by, it used to be the case that if a player asked for a transfer, he didn't get a cut of the transfer fee. Is that still the case?
I believe it is, yeah.
Well, if that's the case, and that's why he's not publicly asking for a transfer, because Charlie Kane will then lose out on the commission. So that's another aspect to look at. You know, this is why it's a game of cat and mouse, really. Harry, it'll probably come down to the thing where at the end, Harry, if Levy still refuses, Harry Kane will have to come out publicly and ask for a transfer, like financial cost to himself and his agent. But if he wants away, that's what he's probably going to have to do in the end of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think Harry Kane comes out of this in any good way as well, Colin. In my opinion, you know, he's not showing much loyalty to us. By not coming out and saying, look, I want to stay for the year. I'm going to see how it goes. And then we'll decide again. And we'll talk about a new contract. If he wants to go, just come out and tell us. We're all big enough and old enough Spurs fans to say, okay, if you want to go, go. But this rambling on, it disrupts Ange for what he wants.
Yeah, it's affecting the team. It has to be affecting them. It has to be. You know?
And
that's why I want committed players at Tottenham next season, not ones that don't want to be there.
I mean, look, I've said it before and say it again. Alex Ferguson wouldn't let this happen at United back in the day. And you know, we all know he wouldn't have let this happen. It'd been nipped in the bud straight away.
Well, yeah, it would. But I mean, I don't even think you have to look that far back, to be honest with you. I think you can only look back at last season with what Erik ten Hag did. You know, Ronaldo was an issue. Erik ten Hag sorted that out straight away. Well, you're going to sit on bench. What's that? You're going to kick off even more. All right, and off you go. See you later.
Yeah. That is true. Listen, if you are enjoying this stream, please, we've only got 18 likes. There's 76 of you watching, so hit that like button. Also, if you want to get a membership as well, please do. It's only $2.99. It's cheaper than Netflix and Paramount Plus and all the other streaming sites. And I'll tell you, get more for your buck than you do than watching a night of whatever on Netflix. And also put in the super chat that the chat is jumping. So if you want to get ahead of everyone, get your points to me Philip or Colin. Even a cheeky Man United digger, Colin, he won't mind. You can put it in Super Chat. It does help us grow, and it helps us get new equipment and everything. So really does help. So please do. Look, I know times are hard out there. If you can't afford it, put your question in the chat. We will bring it up as well. I want to welcome a few more people in, if I can find him as well. We've got Tim Man 007. Big up, Tim Man. Hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while, but I hope you're doing well. He says, I think Levy will sell Kane in the last week of the window. No, please, no.
No, that's not going to go
deal with that. A window, and we'll be exactly what he did with Berbatov. Leave us short once again. Oh, please.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, here's Carl's solution. A straight strop for Mbappe.
A little cash adjustment in Spurs' favour.
Yeah, there you go. And also, we have got a new member as well. Hang on, let me just see where it
is. The disabled team. Fair dues.
The disabled team has become a Bill Nick member. Big up the disabled team. Thank you so much, Ferrica, and welcome to the gang. And also, in the next couple of weeks, if we get to 30 members, we're going to do some private-owned podcasts. They're only going to be about 10 minutes long. Me and Philip will do just a brief description of the week at Spurs before the main ones. But thank you so much for becoming a member. Big up the disabled team. We've got Archibald saying, is there an argument that if Kane says he wants to leave, he wipes 30 million off his transfer value? Therefore, maybe Levy's waiting on this final buying bid, which all parties have agreed is the trigger. Colin, I'll go for you first. You've worked in the football industry, as we all know. You worked in that sort of field, so what does that tell you? That do you think he might be onto something here?
Well, I'm not going to say definitely, because at the end of the day, it's the club who is contracted to. They make the decisions, not the player. It does sometimes work that way, 100%. If somebody does come out and say publicly, "I want to leave," then that gives the opposing team a lot more freedom, wiggle room, saying, well, we're offering you this much, but your guy's saying, I want out. He's forcing the move. Would you rather get him out and just take the money now, than, have him keep going, I want out, and you're sticking there, and it's just going to cause disrest throughout your team. So it does work, but when it comes to players such as Harry Kane, I don't think, even if he turned around and said publicly, I want to leave Tottenham, it would drop anything off the price, because Daniel Levy knows how much Kane is worth to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. Angelo saying, Philip, leave yourself to the farm and get Matt back. No, Liz, we are going to get onto that, because that did break last night, and I was shocked by that news. But yeah, Daniel Lee saying it's time to move on. Has a football club stopped becoming so over-reliant on one player who's hitting the twilight of his careers? Anyway, look, I've always said it, Philip, and I've said this to you. We're not Harry Kane FC. We're Tottenham Hotspur FC. Have we become too much of a one-man club?
No, we're not. No, we're not a one-man club. No, we're not. I think that's very demeaning to the other players at the club that have worked their guts off. Okay, there's a few players, I suppose, don't work their guts off for the team and can't be included in that. But there are a lot of players at that club, Sonny Boy and Højbjerg, that would nearly bleed blue blood if you cut their veins, So no, I think that's a bit unfair. Where Harry Kane is the biggest player at the club, no doubt, but he's not the only player at the club. He's not the only star. And like we keep saying, the king is dead, long live the king. Someone else will come along and pick up the mantle, hopefully. And Harry, in a couple of years' time, will be a pleasant memory. He was a great player for us, and hope he's doing well somewhere else now, as long as it's not Manchester United or Chelsea.
Yeah, we've built a new home, Ellie says, but it's been neglected by leaving our back door wide open. But our attack is up there with the very best. So let's finally put our house in order and shut that back door. Yeah. I could.
That's hopefully that's what they're at. That's what they're at.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And Kane has been lucky the past 2 seasons with his glass ankle. Let's move him on.
He could move to Bayern Munich, and he could play his first friendly game against a third division team, and they cock him. It could easily happen. It wouldn't be the first time this happened to players. Yeah.
And Angelo saying Maddison for skipper, Son as vice captain. What do you reckon to that, Colin?
No, I don't believe in any player that's just come in be given a captaincy role. But a captaincy, you've got to earn it. You can't just be given it, which is why it hasn't worked for Harry Maguire at United.
Yeah. Harry Maguire. I wonder where he's going. Is he going to West Ham still?
As far as I'm concerned, it can go to the moon.
Maybe Eric Dyer could join them. They can do a joint venture with NASA.
Yeah, two-seater.
Yeah, two moon heads
One-way ticket.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people will feel if Kane if he stayed. Look, if he stayed,
They'd be delighted. If he stayed, he's going to sign the contract, so he'd be delighted.
Carl is saying, son of skipper, we keep Højbjerg. He's the right. Look, I've always said Højbjerg for captain. Nobody listens.
If he's with us, if he's still with us, though.
Yeah, he might be. David Clark said, as soon as Harry Kane is gone, he won't even enter my thoughts, he says. I only think about players who play for my club.
That's a good enough point. Yeah,
that's a good enough point. Paul Pablo Sonny, I think, will be captain. We've got Tequila saying Moon FC. There you go, Colin. You've started off a new team now. And we don't have a leader in the dressing room as well as on the pitch. And that's true, isn't it, guys?
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know. I think Højbjerg is a very strong personality.
Yeah,
I think Basuma is as well. Basuma will be a very strong personality. So, until we're actually in that dressing room and know what's going on, I don't think we can really make assumptions. So we don't have
where was the lead? Yeah, but where was the leaders when we lost 5-0 to Newcastle? Where was the leaders when we were playing
6-1? Actually, yeah, I know that. I'm not saying every game.
Yeah,
but when you're 4-0 down after 20 minutes, Dermot, the best leader in the world isn't going to change at that.
I'm not putting on to that, Philip. But what about other games when somebody should have stood up on the pitch when we were playing absolute crap?
Well, what do you mean stood up on the pitch? This thing about captaincy, you can't stand up on the pitch and make 10 other players increase their performance by 25%. You can cajole them and tell them what to do, but it's up to them whether they actually do it. So this thing about being a captain, being a leader, there should be a captain should always be, in my opinion, a centre back or a midfielder, right?
Yeah, but
it's the only place it should be.
Yeah, you look at Roy Keane. He was a leader of men. He if you didn't tell, and Colin will probably vouch for that, and we know what he was for Ireland as well. Yeah. When Steve Berman played, there wasn't only Steve Berman as captain on that pitch. You had Graham Roberts, you had Paul Miller, you had other players on there that would, come on. If you weren't playing well, they would tell you you're not playing well. Buck up your ideas, or go to the manager and say to the manager he's not playing well. Drop him. But no, they go to Levy, and Levy sacks the manager. So that's
a generalization. That doesn't happen too often now. If that was the case, then would have been a queue outside Levy's door, getting half the team sacked last season. But that didn't. It happened with getting rid of the manager. What do you call him? The Garden Gnome, Nuno. They got rid of him that way, all right. But no, this thing. I mean, you got all you want, and you want someone in a captain that can read the game, to direct players to do whatever they want. Now, the fact that we lost 6-1 to Newcastle, that was a freak, right? And as I said, I don't think Winston Churchill could have directed that team that day because we were just so bad.
I just use
no leader could have helped us.
We got no look. Hugo was supposed to be our captain, right? Even if you're losing, you go out and if you lose the first half, the idea is to go out the second half, right? If you're 4-5-0 down, you treat the second half right. We're not going to lose the second half.
We drew the second half. We drew the second half.
Yeah, I know, Philip, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is Hugo, he was supposed to be captain. Where is he bollocking the lads at halftime? He just sat in the corner and said, I ain't coming out.
Somebody went on the pitch and bollocked them in the second half because we were much better in the second half. There was a leader on the pitch in the second half. I don't know who it was, but there was a leader. It certainly wasn't Hugo, So, if you get a player in like we're not going to make Maddison captain. That's a new player can never be made a captain. But if Højbjerg is at the club next season, he'd be my choice as captain. And failing that, Højbjerg.
Who would you be a captain? Højbjerg,
yeah.
Yeah, Højbjerg,
yeah. He would be.
That's who I've been saying all the way along. People are
but I'm saying, he's been on the pitch. You're saying with no leaders on the pitch. He's been on the pitch nearly every game. So he's been there telling people, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. We can't hear it from the commentary, but you can be sure it's going on, you know?
Yeah, I think Tequila's had too many.
Well, now that's one person I wouldn't agree as being captain, you know?
Now, what do you reckon, Colin? Dyer for captain. Do you want to get behind that?
Hey, right. Well, Dyer for captain. If it means that, you know, if it's down to the last day and we're fighting for the last Champions League spot with Tottenham and Dyer walks out with that captain's band, I'm all for it. You know, I'm all for it.
Well, we're hoping to make you a Spurs fan before the end of the next season, so we're still working on that. David's saying Højbjerg won't be at Spurs next season. We don't know that.
We don't know.
Højbjerg will not be here next season. We don't know that. David says a captain in football is as important in football as it is in other sports.
Well,
like
that's very true. I'm just watching the test match today, and the captaincy in a cricket match is, you have to have a really good leader there.
Angela says, well, Dermy, I reckon 5 bin tags before anything. Yeah. I get that. Right.
I mean, I think the other thing, sorry, Dermot. I think the other thing you got to remember is as well, obviously, you look at the captains who have been there before, you know, like, I know I bring it to United, but like Roy Keane, you know, fantastic captain, kick the players up the backside. Football's changed so much since then. The captains aren't the same. No. Never will they be the same of the great captains of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Football's changed too much.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is.
Yeah,
and
sure enough,
look back in the day, Philip, we had Steve Perriman or Graham Roberts. You know, there weren't just one captain. There was a team of leaders on the pitch. If you're saying just Højbjerg is just one leader, then...
I'm not saying just Højbjerg. I'd say Son in his own way. Bissouma. He's got the makings of it as well, right? Bentancur when he's back, and they're all midfielders. I'd say Romero, and he's too much of a hothead. I'd keep him for later.
I like Romero's passion, but he just goes over to.
It's a little bit over the top. If he cools down a bit, fair enough, you know. But I think with 3 or 4 of them there, if they put their minds to it, it's up to Ange to get the best out of someone that he picks as captain.
Yeah. Jim says we're all going on about Kane. We need centre backs. Look, as far as I know, in the centre backs, because the teams are away, Jim, at the moment, this has all gone very quiet. But I can assure you, I think within next week or 2, something may happen within that the centre back department. So, don't worry, we will have new centre backs in before the start of the season. We need centre backs.
Van de Ven was left out of the squad tonight. The Wolfsburg
squad.
He
was. Was he on the bench? Was he, or left out completely?
No, he's out of the squad. He's left out of the squad.
Yeah.
So that's always a sign that someone has been transferred, you know?
Yeah. We need centre backs. It's much more important. That's where I'm worried about, not the Kane saga. Yeah. We've got Carl Grick. He says, a captain can't ever drop his bundle when things get tough. That's true as well.
That's what Hugo did.
Yeah. Philip just taught just a little detail. I taught Dermatron so it's Højbjerg.
I'm going to call him PEH. It's easier.
Do you know what? It took me months to get his name, to get round his name. I just couldn't get my tongue around it. And then I just kept practicing, and then I got it. There you go. Archibald says, Dyer couldn't captain the moon rocket. Titanic is a great name for his spaceship.
Well, he could bring his moon boots with him, couldn't he?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to sign Dyer for Moon FC. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, Philip, we have to get on to this, right? It is funny. I have got his quote, what he says here, right? Ange got one over the German press, which that's how I put it this morning. Now, Philip, do you want to explain what had happened and then read out his quote? Because I think this is gas.
There was a press conference held today in Thailand, in Bangkok, ahead of the Leicester match. And at that press conference, there was a reporter from the Bild newspaper in Germany called Max Schrader, who held up a Bayern Munich shirt with the number 9 on it, which is fair enough, but with the name Harry Kane printed on the back of it, which is not fair enough. And Ange you can see he was annoyed by it, right? And he said, did you get a good laugh there? You've come a long way for that, thank you. Which is all very well and innocent, right? But to say the shit has hit the fan over this is an understatement. Spurs have banned Max Schrader from they cancelled his press accreditation. They banned him from all future press conferences. Bayern Munich are red-faced about it. They're saying we've nothing to do with us. Whether that's true or not is another day's work. I think the newspaper Bild, right, who just happened to be the same newspaper today that spilt the story that Harry Kane's wife was house hunting in Munich. So you can put 2 and 2 together and definitely get 4. That is the German press being mischievous again, right? But I was so annoyed at Max Schrader. I looked up his social media contacts and I messengered him. And I told him he was a disgrace to his occupation and he should apologize to Tottenham immediately. And that he has now brought the press into the gutter even more than it has been recently. So
you haven't done that.
I'm not expecting a reply.
Have you really done that?
Yeah. I looked him up. I got his Facebook. I got his Facebook content, and I sent him a message on it.
Oh Lord God!
So
Right,
there you go.
Colin, what do you? Yeah, how can you follow that?
I don't think I can, to be honest with you.
Oh Lord Jesus!
No, I mean, obviously, I'll go back onto a little bit more serious side. I haven't sent him a message or anything. What I might do is I might do what Ellie says, and I might send him an email later, just telling him off. But now it's. I mean, what he's done there.
Go into Max Schrader, put Max Schrader BILD on Facebook, and you'll get it. And that's better.
I'll do that later
on the list.
I'll do that later and message him for you.
Bombard him with messages.
I know you don't like Sky Sports and Talk Sport and stuff like that, but this is taking it to another level. This is just taking on.
I'm putting up his contact details here now. It's quite open. He's open. He's there on Facebook. Just get at it.
Oh, you don't know what you've just done.
No, I don't care. He deserves every bit he gets. It's free speech. I'm entitled to my opinion on it. You know, he can block me for all he likes. I don't care. I'll never hear from him again anyway.
All I've got in my head right now is all I can imagine. Probably not if I'm going to be honest with you. But all I've got in my head right now is that scene from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where Aragorn turns around and says for Frodo. I've just got that in my head, and all this Spurs fans.
Oh God! What have you started?
No, that's nothing wrong with that. Listen, it's there. I found him in 2 minutes.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, Philip. But it's the most funniest thing I've heard in ages. I got so pissed off. Oh Lord. It's Jesus Christ, that's brilliant.
I think Ellie's been doing the same as well. Those things.
Carl Sampson, Philip did a Liam Neeson taking a speech on Max. Oh Lord, Philip, you're brilliant. You're in a Godfather has come out. Honest to God, Wilton saying good on you, Philip.
Yeah,
and Ellie saying Philip's taking the leaf out of my book column. That's right. Emails and messages work. I'm sure the Godfather will have put the willies up the chair. No, he was shaking in his boot, the twat.
Max Schrader, he took the piss out of my club, so he deserves everything he gets.
By the way, that email's from effectively from THFC till I die. He should have, as the channel.
Oh no! I sent him the message from a personal. We won't know anything to do with us, you know. Oh, no. I didn't sign at THFC till I die or anything like that, you know. Maybe I should have.
Wilton said, "Don't upset the older generation. I'm one of them. I've got more." Philip knows. Philip knows I've got an awful lot of respect for you, and you know that yourself, Philip. How I feel about you and Wilton and all that. But big up Wilton. That's the same mob reported me walking through Bangkok in the dress and heels as well. I've asked him what got the right.
Lovely.
Terry White saying breaking news. Kane has to be spotted by several teammates in the changing rooms, where Bayern Munich proves to move to Germany now seems in the Sky Sports nonsense.
Lovely.
Phil
Lovely.
Kane, what's the difference? Macca did it with what's the difference? Marsa did it with Gareth Bale. It is what it is. Yeah, it is.
Real Madrid. Yeah.
Antielli, Philip's beating you. Philip's emailed the king. And there you go, everyone. That's how you get home. We'll bring that up again. Philip, keep putting that into the chat. Actually,
yeah. If you go into Facebook and type that in as a search, and it comes up.
Yeah.
There's a whole load of Max Schrader, so make sure the one BILD is after it. You know?
Paul G. Evening, or Philip is the greatest. Yes, I think it's brilliant. Philip did a Liam Neeson on that. I've read that. Oh yeah. Max is probably crying in that Kane shirt now. He's a
accreditation. But doesn't it make you think? Look at this, another angle of this, right? What would a German magazine or a newspaper called Bild be doing, sending a journalist to cover a Spurs friendly match?
I know.
He went there completely armed to the teeth, knowing exactly what he was. He was sent there on a mission, and it's backfired on them now. Okay, might sell him a few more papers tomorrow in Germany, but that's it.
Oh, Philip, you've made me serious to God. I think that's brilliant.
I can imagine. I can just imagine like the words. I have a unique set of skills. my subscribers will find you.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think, Philip, we're going to have to change your name from The Godfather to Liam Neeson now. Honest to God. Oh, Jesus. That's for Lord Jesus. That's brilliant. Honest to God. I don't think I've ever cried with laughter for so much with that.
And the good thing about it is the time I sent it was about 7 in the evening, right? So it would have been 1 o'clock in the morning. You won't see it until it gets up tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Bad Steel says, creeps at all smash yazal. Okay, whatever that means. Gentlemen, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Honest to God, that's the best thing I've heard all weekend. There is a moral to this story, guys, right? You just don't piss off Philip Brady.
Just don't become a journalist and do anything on Spurs.
I'm surprised he actually hasn't a message Talk Sports, Sky Sports yet. I'm really shocked at that. Maybe he's working his way around to them.
If you want, Philip, just do a mock email and send it to me so I can send it at Glazers, because I'm sure that'll get them to sell.
Okay, right on.
Yes. As captain of the club, Kane, he has a duty to tell us where he wants. That is the point, Philip. He is captain. Now he's vice captain of Spurs.
Technically, Hugo Lloris is still club captain until he leaves the club. But Harry is captain designate, yes. Right enough, he should be. He should be telling us. He should be. But up to now, he ain't done it.
No, Philip's email will make the 10 o'clock news.
I better watch myself next time I go into Germany. I might be barred entry.
Yeah. We'll have to call the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come out and get you back. You'll have the Taoiseach onto your phone now in a minute, Philip. Now, Philip, you can't be doing that now. You're supposed to be going giving Ireland a good name.
Germany breaks off diplomatic relations with Ireland.
Yeah. Oh dear. All down. The RTE be up to you, and well, mind you, RTE probably won't be up to. They probably can't afford the taxi up there at the moment. Angelo said, "Is that Mia behind the Man United badge?" Well, if it is Mia, she's changed sex. Yeah, if that is Mira, she's changed sex and she's got a man's voice.
Changed her club as well.
Yeah. Right, guys. Look, very quickly, Harry Kane's wife has been reported looking at houses and schools.
Yeah. Well, if she's in Braintree getting there, can't be in Munich, can she? Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about. I'll go away from the Kane stuff now, but I want to go over now to this Mamapai news that broke last night, guys. And Philip put it very brilliantly in here. Genius or club record. Look, Philip, we had the Man United, we had the Ronaldo thing at United last year. Now, nobody's doubting Kylian Mbappe is a world-class player. He is a genius when it comes to on the pitch. You look what he did in the World Cup final, which we covered here on Thfc till I die. He dragged France into that final, didn't he? 3 or 4 times. Why do you think he's a club wrecker, not a genius?
Because he wants everything done his way or the highway. He wanted control over team selection that was reported last season, right? He also had the ridiculous scenario that if he was transferred to Real Madrid this summer, he wanted PSG to pay him another year's salary on top of whatever the transfer fee was. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing tonight because I'm after seeing that Arsenal are supposed to be in for him. You know, and I mean, I think that's just... I mean,
no.
yeah,
that's fun. That's even funnier than
that's
you
even
said.
funnier than the German thing. I mean, Arsenal. Imagine Arsenal. I mean, talk about ideas above your station. You know, I think if Arsenal bought Kylian Mbappe, they'd be bankrupt in about 6 months or less.
Yeah.
Because he's been offered 100. He's been offered, I think it's $1 billion over 10 years by PSG, right? Which is 100 million a year. Now, financial fair play will be they're knocking on your door after about 2 days of that. So, you know, like he's a great player. He's a great player, but like Dermot, I saw him play against Ireland against France. And I'll tell you one thing, Matt Doherty and the Irish defence had him in their pocket. He hardly did a thing. So like he's not brilliant all the time. He's a great player, but he really thinks he's God's gift to football.
We've got Paul Pablo, Mbappe an upgrade on Kane. Paul Pablo say, Phil, we meant to be a big club with the best stadium. Why can't we go in for Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah, well, look, we're not going to be going in for him, and I just don't know. I'd say if we went for Mbappe, like look at PSG, they're an absolute circus, right?
Yeah,
that club is a circus, and he's a ringmaster. He really controls a lot of things that go on in that club, and I don't think that will work at Tottenham. I think they'll be fighting in the dressing room after about 2 matches.
Now, Colin. Now look, Colin. Yeah, Man United come in. Mbappe was a nice, humble kid before Neymar started hanging out with him. Learn how to let his ego take over.
Yeah.
Do you think, Colin, other players have a responsibility for younger players to make sure, especially the older players, to keep them on the straight and narrow if they do see them going off the path a bit? It happened at United. Alex Ferguson kept a tight rein over the class of 92. Bill Nixon did the same at Tottenham over the years. Keith Birkinshaw did. Do you think it's a responsibility of the manager and the senior players to look at these younger players and say, hang on, you're stepping out of line here, get back a bit? Or do you agree with Carl here saying, look, it's because he hanged out with the wrong crowd in the dressing room and it's his own fault?
I mean, it's a bit of both, isn't it, really? If you look at it, yes, I mean, the older players, the veterans of the footballing world should definitely be there to help and guide players down the right path. So we've seen many, many examples of players falling in with the wrong crowds and it absolutely destroying credibility, careers, everything. So I'm on the fence with it. To be honest with you, 'cause it's like, yes, the veterans should be trying to guide him, but they can only do so much. It then goes on the player whether he wants to take that advice or not. So obviously nobody really knows what's happening in the PSG changing rooms. There could be players there that are trying to guide Mbappe the right direction, but he might not be wanting to take their advice. He might have this ego now, where he's considered one of the best players in the world and be like, well, why should I listen to what you're telling me when I'm considered one of the best players that has ever played football?
Yeah. We've got a question here from Paul G. Big up, Paul. I did see it and I did star it, but I'll get to it now. It says, Dermot, can you ask the panel, intrigued to know, Dombele, Lo Celso, Reguilon, do you give any of them another go, or do you ship them out? Very quickly, my opinion before I go to Philip and Colin on this, you ship them all out. I don't want them at the club anymore. Dombele is a lazy fat ass. Lo Celso is a troublemaker, and Reguilon's injured more times than he can play. So for me, you can ship the 3 out and be gone with it. Let's get as much as we can for them and get them gone, because they're nothing but a noose round our squads. Next, Philip, what do you go?
Right, I want to see Ndombele in action before I make a decision on him, because he hasn't played yet in this. I don't know whether he's going to play tomorrow or not. Lo Celso played well against West Ham, right? But whether it's good enough, he has a bit of an attitude problem, I think. Reguilon, get him gone, because he was absolutely useless against West Ham first half that he was on. Ndombele, I'd say possibly Lo Celso and Reguilon go, probably. Ndombele, I think he might be the joker in the pack there, that they might keep him, because they might see something over the next couple of weeks that Ange likes and wants to nurture and get back to do something to justify his huge transfer fee and massive wages. But if he doesn't ship up in the next couple of days, he'll be shipped out.
Colin,
a couple of games, I should say.
See, I don't very quickly, Colin. I don't agree with you on Ndombele. He needs to go for the piece, as I call them.
I want to see him in action for half a game, even doing. But then we're sort of deciding on him without seeing him in action. We've seen the other two, so let's give him that anyway. He probably will be gone. He probably will. Let's give him a chance.
Well, I don't. Off he goes. Thank you very much for what you haven't done. Colin, what do you reckon? Would you have any of them at United?
I wouldn't have Reguilon. I don't think he's good enough. Anywhere near good enough. I haven't seen enough of Ndombele to make a decision on him. I know when he first arrived, he was supposed to be, a very, very prosperous, talented player. Still waiting to see that from him. And if Lo Celso actually changed his attitude and, started being a normal person instead of being this absolute mental head case that he is at times, I think he could do well. But I think 2 out of the 3 of them, because like I said, I can't really make a judgment on Ndombele. I can only go off what you guys are saying. But 2 out of 3 of them have definitely burnt the bridges with Spurs, and they need to go. And obviously that's Lo Celso and Reguilon.
Yeah. Look, for me, I think for me, the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, Roden, all them players need to go. We need to clear out. It's getting rid of them, Philip, isn't it? And how do you get rid of these deadwood players? Look, I know we talked a bit about it with Dave last night, and it is roundabout. I know you're going to say cancelling contracts is a mutual thing. Both sides, we did it with Doherty when he went to Seville. Now he's back at Wolves again now to start to rekindle his career. So we wish him all the very best. A good Doherty is a good player. A good player there is a good player for us. So that's what you got to look at it. How do you get rid of these dead players, Philip, without cancelling contracts? Do you do what I said last night, just banish them to out the first team? You're not playing, you're not part of it. Go away, train on your own, and get yourself a new club.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way. Okay, we cancelled Doherty's contract, we cancelled Serge Aurier's. We bought them out of the contract, basically. So I think if you told the likes of Eric Dyer and Joe Roden, listen, you're going to be training with the under-21s. Right, that should be enough to dent their pride, to get their agent to say, listen, get us a club somewhere else, right? And if that doesn't work by the 30th of August, then I think you'll find they will be open to having their contract bought out and let them find a club as a free agent. I think that's probably the best way, because let's face it, there's going to be no queue of clubs coming in looking for them.
But also, I'll start with you as well, Philip. I'm going to go to Colin with this. If Mourinho, Conte, Nuno couldn't get anything out of Ndombele, it says in the chat there before Pablo, but what makes you think, Philip, that Ange can get something out of him that the other 3 managers couldn't?
But I don't, Dermot. But I want to see him given a chance to see what's happening. I don't want him to go right and go somewhere else and be an absolute world beater and be thinking, oh Christ, maybe we should have kept him. Let's see what he can do tomorrow, or let's see what he can do against the Sailor Boys during the week. If he doesn't shape up and Ange doesn't like him, he's gone. Fair enough. But I just want to give him. He hasn't played in a Tottenham shirt now for how long? 18 months? I forget when he's last played the game. So let's just say it won't kill the club to keep him for another couple of games. Then maybe get rid of him if he doesn't shape it.
Now, guys, Colin, we've got Leicester tomorrow, Philip. We're covering that here on THFC till I die, to watch along in the morning. Colin, who you've got Arsenal, haven't you, kicking off just about now?
Kicked off 7 minutes ago.
See if there's any score.
So, do you know, Philip, what are you looking for tomorrow? And also, what do you want to see? This is, I'll give you a bit of details where the game is actually. Tottenham versus Leicester. Now, the injuries are Bentancur, Segerson, Foster, Parrott, all out. Injured. Lloris is absent, looking for a new club. The kickoff is 11 o'clock tomorrow, and the venue is the Rajam Nangala Stadium. Hope I got that right. And it is Spurs.
It's just down the road from Ngori there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in a place called Ballycanoe. It's a big stadium there. And apparently, Paul McGrath is going to referee the game after a couple of points against us. Big up Paul McGrath if you are watching. You know, if you are, please do come on because I'd love to get you on the channel. That would be my ideal guest. It's be on Spurs play tomorrow, and we're on at 10 to 11. And of course, now very quickly, Philip, Leicester are showing this game for free. I know we said it last night, but big up to Leicester for doing that, by the way. Apparently,
Spurs must have been in contact with Leicester. They've now taken down the email offering that.
Have they really?
So yeah. So I'd say anybody that got in there has probably got it for free, but it's now been taken down. So apparently, that was a bit cheapskate by Spurs, I would reckon. I mean, I think that's a bit silly, really, what they're doing by complaining about it.
Now, this is the predicted Tottenham 11, Philip, for tomorrow. We've got Venom in goal. We've got Emerson, Tantanga, Romero, Destiny in the back four. Højbjerg as the centre CDM. We've got Basuma and Madison in the middle. Kulu, Kane, and Son up front. Now, we know this could change at halftime as well.
Which it will, yeah. Which it will.
But is this a good starting lineup for you?
Yeah, that's good enough for me. I have no problem with that one at all. Whether Son is fit enough to play is another thing. He's only been a couple of days training. Kulichevsky would be good to see him. Højbjerg, Basuma, Madison. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good... it's not a massive change from the first half against West Ham. But yeah, that's okay with me, But it'll be a totally separate team in the second half. It'll be another 11 in the second half.
And what are you looking for? Now, we play you very early in the season, Colin. I think we play you
second game.
Second game. And hopefully we'll join us for that watch along. It'll be great to get a Man United fan on and we can rib each other. Have you been impressed with Tottenham's first pre-season game? And how impressed have you been with Man United's pre-season so far?
Well, yeah, I mean, I actually watched the West Ham game. I was at work, managed to find a little stream, so I watched it. Very impressed with the attacking output. I mean, I don't understand how you didn't come away with the victory, if I'm going to be honest with you, at all. I mean, I can't remember the last time a team had 30 shots in a game and didn't get the win. So that has me concerned a lot, if I'm going to be honest with you. I obviously expect United to win, but that's because obviously I'm a Man United fan. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult because Spurs are a changed side on Drange. They really are.
Yeah.
We get a defense. We get our defense sorted out, and we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, 100%. But see, that's the one thing that worries me for Spurs. Obviously, I did that little scout report on obviously Venom for you guys, and if you haven't got your centre back sorted, he's going to struggle, and he will struggle because he needs players in front of him that are very, very confident. And they're willing to take the ball from him and everything like that as well. Because he sometimes does like to play out from the back. He won't just hoof it long all the time.
Yeah.
So they need to be comfortable, and obviously that's exactly why you guys are looking at Mickey van der Ven and Tatsoba, because they're two of the best doing it at the minute.
Carlos saying Ange said he would extend game time to 60 minutes in Thailand for the starting team.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's probably a good idea, actually. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, though. The humidity is going to be severe there tomorrow.
Yeah. Ellie's saying if Højbjerg of PHH for Philip makes the first half 11, that will be great. Yeah, well,
right.
We hope so. So, score prediction, Philip, for tomorrow. What do you reckon?
4-0 to Spurs. He said,
Do you
the
know
whole...
I'm going for 5-0. I think
they're a
Madison with
championship side. We should be beating them, but
We
knowing
should be
that probably
beating
won't get. We'll probably lose 2-1 or something like that.
probably would be. Question for Colin: what work did you do in football?
So originally, I was actually in an academy doing goalkeeping. That's what I was until I was released due to not actually being tall enough to be a goalkeeper, which is a bit of a bummer. And then I went into the goalkeeping coaching side, and I've worked with a couple of teams down in the lower divisions, being a goalkeeper, a reserve team, youth team, and I've done a little bit of reserve first team goalkeeping, getting the goalkeepers back up to fitness.
Oh, very good. Very good. And of course, Philip, Mr. Harry Winks will be playing against us tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be just like Harry Winks to play the game of his life tomorrow, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Carl's saying Winks with the winner. And then Stuart Wheeler. I think whoever is picked as a starting lineup, each time the other players will know they have every chance of coming on, which should be good for their confidence. Yeah. That's true. And Paul's saying, Colin, can you give us your ratings on Tottenham? Colin, can you give us the rating on Tottenham's new keeper as you are a goalkeeping coach?
Well, the best thing I can do there is if you go back to the show that they did earlier on, it's got a complete ratings from his collection from crosses, shot stopping, distribution. It's got everything on there. So I'd go back and give that a watch if you're interested. Maybe one day, obviously, when we do it late, I might do it on my channel later. I'll go through and do a proper in-depth one as well. So if you want to come over and watch that, I'll try that.
And then Colin, he said, would you have bought Reyes? Very quickly.
Yeah, I would have bought Reyes. Is a goalkeeper that when I do coach younger players, I do say, watch what he does, because he's a very, very good goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say he's not a very good goalkeeper. So I do rate him, and I would have bought him, but for the price that it was at, I think it was a little bit too much.
Yeah. Well, Philip, look, we are on tomorrow. What are you hoping to see tomorrow from Spurs?
More of the same going forward and a much tighter defense. That's really all we want. If we tighten up the defense, although I believe looking at Chris Cowlin's video of the training session today, it seemed to be mostly concentrating on attack again. There wasn't much defensive work done. So maybe a few hairy moments, but I think if we can keep the press up and the way we played against West Ham, I think we'll probably win tomorrow and hopefully keep a clean sheet. That'd be ideal. Keep a clean sheet.
Yeah. But anyway, me and Philip, of course, are on here from 10 to 11 in the morning. Just to finish off, we'll go through the bit of breaking news that we had this evening. It was given to me, being told from a Spurs source that he is 90% sure that Kane will be sold to Bayern. There is going to be another bid from Bayern for Kane. It will match with the add-ons, the equivalent of 100 million. Now, I'm not sure this is pound or euros. They are not worried about the deal. They know what they have. They have him as their striker next season. So, guys, look, this Kane thing's going to rumble and rumble and rumble.
You know something? Look, they thought they'd won the Second World War in 1940 as well. Look what happened.
Yeah, don't you start Uncle Albert about during the war.
During the war.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Albert and Olaf's noses, right? He's parachuted onto the front lines, right? He's been in Russia. He's been everywhere in the world. He never stood foot out of Peckham. That is great. And how he kept that going for years, God only knows. But Philip, the very last question for you, and as well, Harry Kane, is he Bayern bound? Yeah and nay.
Yes.
Colin, is he Bayern bound?
Going by everything, I'd say yes.
Oh, I hate it when I have to agree with you lot. Yeah, me too. God, I couldn't find an argument to say no, but yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
Just before we let Colin plug his channel. Carl says Philip is writing an email to Germany as a country.
And you know what
How
I'll do?
would that
I'll put an
How would that
attachment.
email
I'll put
start, Philip?
I'll put an attachment on the last 5 minutes of the Faulty Towers episode about the Germans. Remember that one?
Oh Lord. For Ireland's been through, I think we should send an email to somebody else, Philip. You know who I'm talking about too.
Just going to make it clear, I actually love Germany as a country. I've been there a lot of times. I love it, but I'm only slagging really on them. Although I'll make exceptions for that Max Schrader fella.
I still can't believe you Facebooked him.
It's a private message. It won't go on Facebook. It's on a private messenger.
I still can't believe
you took. Facebook,
I still can't believe you took the time out of your day to find them on Facebook.
Well, I tell you don't want to get me going. I go to any lengths I have to get even with people. So.
Oh Lord, remind me never to piss you off and meet you down a dark alley.
Yeah. Right.
We've got Stephen Thomas saying if he goes, good luck to him. Deserves to play at the highest level. What? Fair enough. Stuart Wheeler says WW2 love it. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Ruminager? If you think that
Dad's on me.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant. And Carl says Dermot has wrote so many emails to Terrari on Rick. Yeah, haven't got any replies off the cheating git. Big up Philip, and Dragon D Nut says don't mention the war. Do you win the war?
I mentioned it once, but I got away with it. Huh?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, look, Colin, where can people find you? Thank you for coming on again. It's always a joy to have you on. You're a great company. Absolutely. And listen, where can people find you, and what you got coming up on Full Time Sports Network?
So yeah, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is FTSNCole. And obviously you can find me over on Full Time Sports Network on YouTube. We've got a lot of things coming up. We're doing a weekly transfer review, obviously going over all the done deals and whatnot. I actually do that with one of my Arsenal friends. Yes, I do have an Arsenal friend, but he's actually a very nice Arsenal friend. He actually works within football himself, so he's quite knowledgeable. We don't just talk about random rubbish. We've got a couple of shows coming up as well. Watch alongs, we're doing quite a lot of them. We're actually currently doing the Man United watch along at the moment. Obviously, I'm boycotting at the minute due to the Glazers. But yeah, we've got loads of content coming up. So yeah.
So everyone, please get over to the Full Time Sports Network with Colin and the gang over there, and please hit the subscribe button. And there, Philip, we're back tomorrow, 10 to 11, with Spurs versus Leicester. Normally we would have Sundays off, but we're working tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So the dedication to duty is admirable, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And then I'm going to sit down and watch the Grand Prix afterwards. And
then I'm going to watch the All-Ireland.
Yeah. And who's playing tomorrow? Is it hurling or football tomorrow?
Hurling tomorrow. Yeah. Kilkenny and Limerick. And Limerick.
Limerick will win.
Probably will. 4 in a row.
Yeah. We've got Mark News saying, to be fair, if it's 100 million in cash, it would be very difficult to turn down and lose them on a free transfer next season. Let's get Tony or Vlahovic, or use the balance of the money to get both Tapsoba and VDV. Yeah. Listen, that will happen. Them two are coming in as far as we know. So please, I'm doing a Carl Simpson says, great show, guys. Big up your cock. Oh, for fuck's sake.
The old ones are the good ones.
Yeah. Stuart Wheeler says, for you, Tommy, this dream is over.
The dream is over.
This dream is over. By the way, I do like Germany as well, so I'm putting it out there as well. Paul Pablo will be watching the game tomorrow. Yeah, we're doing the stream watch along, so please come on. Drula, thanks guys. Big up Drula. Listen, if you're around, join your auntie on Monday for the Ireland. I'm sure Ellie will be doing the watch along for the Ireland game on Monday. I mean, Philip would give that a little bit of a build up.
Is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday, actually.
Is it Tuesday? I thought it was Monday.
Yeah. No, they're only flying to Perth tomorrow, so they wouldn't be going just the day before. So.
Edward Wyeth says, I used to think all Germans went, well, okay, yeah. Well, they're not. Apart from that, And Dermot showed a video of Max running away from manager. Is there actually a video of that?
No, there's Fred.
Oh yeah, Fred. Oh Fred.
Yeah.
Oh, you spoiled my thumb, but I spoiled my thunder now. I've got a couple of new one now, Carl. Right, here we go. Now, we always end up in this. I just wondered, this is now Max finding out Philip Brady has Facebooked him. He's just read the message. And Philip's now knocking on his door with a horse's head.
Yes. And with that,
we played that video a lot of times, guys, right? And we have a bit of fun with it, right? But I wonder what his missus is thinking while he's doing that. Seriously. She must think.
She's probably thinking, how much that bloody glass going to cost me? Never mind if you cut yourself bled to death.
What do you reckon she's thinking, Colin?
What is this Muppet doing?
Yeah. Carl says, what a tool.
Exactly.
And I'll show it again because I've got another one in my head. And this is the Glazers when they're seeing Colin coming through the doors at United with a big sledgehammer and a bag load of cash.
Actually,
you're so good I got to show it again.
Trust me, if I get towards the Glazers with a sledgehammer or a big bag of cash, they ain't getting through that window.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to see Jan's reaction. Okay. Look, Ellie's saying, love the show, guys. What's crack? Don't forget, straight after our watch along tomorrow, we're going to finish off straight away because at 2:00, Ellie's on with our World Cup weeklies. Her and Eltel Cockerell are on tomorrow.
Can I just say about that? England were a bit lucky today against Haiti.
You know what? Do you know what? I want Ellie to answer this honestly in the chat now before we go. Did Haiti deserve to lose that game? Because I'm hearing they deserved the point.
Well, I saw they deserved the draw.
Yeah.
And that's only because some of the slagging we took over Ireland losing the other day. You see.
Angelo said, "I wish my husband would show that enthusiasm in cleaning and cooking." And Carl is saying, "I told you the door was closed." But no, I would love. Oh, Hod, we're just finishing, man. Big up, Hod God 10. We're just finishing. But yeah, Ellie, let us know very quickly in the chat. Did
Haiti deserve a draw?
Yeah. We've got Kate saying Haiti had one shot on target. Well, big up, guys. Big up Lily White Lane as well. Big up. And then we had about 24.
Well, that's pretty wasteful. That's a bit like Spurs the other day, then, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. Ellie's message coming in. Yes, we were that. We were that.
Well, Demorney's the goalkeeper, isn't that right?
Demorney was brilliant. Okay. Yeah. Well, look, anyway. It's still on course.
Listen, a win is a win. A win is a win, no matter how badly they played or how they weren't at their best, but they probably will be in the next couple of games. So they're one of the favourites anyway.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks all for watching. Thank you all for coming in. It's been a great show as always. Philip, thank you so much. We're back tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
10 to 11 for the watch along. And then me and Philip then are back on Monday with Newsbeat as well. Colin, thank you always for coming on. And we look forward to getting you on again very soon. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Look, we've had a blast, but if Harry Kane goes or stays, there will always be a Tottenham Hotspur. That's the team we follow. That's the team we'll always support. So come on,
Ellie saying Haiti did deserve a draw. So there you go. Well done, Ellie.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's honest.
Yeah, very good. Honest. Very good.
Yeah, the Australians didn't deserve a win. I'm being bitter. Australia were.
I'll tell you one thing. It's amazing that Haiti can have a team because that is one of the poorest countries in the world. I was in Haiti once now, and I'll tell you one thing: the poverty is incredibly sad. So fair dues to them. Fair dues.
Yeah, Daniel says I've been near Haiti. Shares the island with
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Dominican Republic.
Big up. He says big up Dominico. Big up Daniel as well. Hug God for free. And then he says, I'm not the goalie, the forward is. Well, big
Ah,
up. How do
right.
I
Sorry.
hate you?
Yeah, that's it.
But anyway,
Give it
we're
to
back
Leonard,
tomorrow at 10 to
Okay,
11.
lads. Colin, see you again.
Sunday
See you
Yeah,
later.
hang on, Philip. Give us 2 minutes. I'm going to end the stream yet. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.